Hello all, welcome to Azure Data Factory session. In today's video, we are going to create a simple pipeline in Azure Data Factory. For that, we have taken a simple use case. In our use case, we are going to read data from a blob storage. It's a CSV file. And we are going to ingest the data into Azure SQL Server database. For ETL process, we are going to use Azure Data Factory. Let's see how to create a simple pipeline. To create a simple pipeline, we need the link services. Link service is a connection to the source system or to the target system. First, let us see how to create a linked services. For that, I opened Azure Data Factory in Azure portal. Go to Manage. Within a Manage, right, we have a linked service option. There you can go and create. We have a plus sign, create new. First linked service I am going to create for Azure Blob Storage. Select Azure Blob Storage icon, click continue. My linked service name going to be Azure Blob Storage 1. I am using the auto resolve integration runtime. I am selecting my Azure subscription and selecting the storage name. My storage name going to be source data. This is my storage name. Source data is a Azure Blob Storage. I selected storage name and created new linked service for my source system. Similarly, I am going to create one more linked service for my target system. My target system going to be Azure SQL Server database. Here also, I am not going to change any name for my linked service. I am selecting my subscription here, and what is the database name? My database name going to be SQL Server Learning. I created already, and my database name going to be Learning DB, and I'm going to use the SQL Server authentication. My user ID is Learning. My password going to be the secret password. Let us validate the connection. My connection is successful. Let me create the connection now. Linked service ready for SQL Server database as well. What is the next step we need to follow? We need to create a data set. We are ready with the linked service. We need to tell to the system what is the source data and what is the target table we are going to use it. For that, click on authoring tool, go to data set, click on three dots, go and create new data set. My data set going to be the source data set going to be Azure Blob, right? I selected Azure Blob, click on continue. Again, you select the type of file you are stored in the Azure Blob Storage. I stored delimited file, comma separated delimited file. I selected the delimited file and click on continue. Here, choose your linked service. If you have multiple linked service for the Blob Storage, it will show here. You choose the one which is relevant for this dataset. Once you selected the linked service, it is asking you to provide what is the container name you are going to use it and what is the file name you are going to use it. For that, come to Blob Storage. This is my source data. Within that, these are all the container I created already. I'm going to select demo. Within a demo container, I'm going to read sample superstore CSV file. See the first text box, you get the container name, and the last box you get the file name. Click on OK. Now we are ready with the data set. Similarly, we need to create one more data set for target. Target is a SQL Server database, right? Select SQL Server and select the linked service you created. It is asking you the table name, for which table you are going to load the data. In our case, right, already we have a demo superstore table I created in SQL Server already. This is the table we are going to ingest the data in Azure SQL Server. I selected the demo superstore, click on OK. Now we are ready with the source dataset and the target dataset. Next step, we are going to create a new pipeline. Come to the pipeline, click on new pipeline. The name, let it be the pipeline 1. First step, we are going to copy the data from blob storage to Azure SQL Server, right? For that, we have copy activity. Click and drag and drop the copy activity. Once you selected the copy activity in the pipeline design mode, there are multiple tabs are there. Okay, in the source, select your source dataset. Our source dataset going to be delimited text file. I'm not modifying anything. I'm not giving any additional properties here. I just selected source dataset, and then I'm coming to sync. Here also I'm selecting what is my target. Once I selected the target, all the options by default there. I'm not modifying any options here. Now we are ready with the simple pipeline. Once the pipeline is ready, okay, we need to validate it whether any issue there in my pipeline or not. There is no error in our pipeline. Next step is what? We need to publish the pipeline and then execute. To publish the pipeline, click on the publish all. Our pipeline published successfully. I'm coming to add trigger option. Click on trigger now. Our pipeline started execution. View pipeline run. Here you can monitor your pipeline execution. This is the input data. Our pipeline thrown error. Let's see what's the error. It is saying invalid column name. I understand the issue. When we choose the file right in the source system, while creating, I have to select the first row as header. Okay. Now come to the pipeline. Try to map it and import schema. All the columns are mapped properly. Let us go and publish. Publishing successful. Trigger the pipeline now. Pipeline trigger started. This is the place you can monitor your pipeline execution. Pipeline in progress. Pipeline successfully completed. Let us go to the database. Verify table. Perfect. Our data successfully loaded. Let us verify how many records got loaded. It loaded 66 plus K record. And let us check pipeline execution detail. This is the pipeline execution detail. Here also it read 66 plus K record and ingested 66 plus K record. This is how we need to create a simple pipeline in Azure Data Factory. With this, let us conclude the session. We will meet in other session. Thank you.